Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Let's just address the elephant in the room right away. We are all talking about artificial intelligence. And honestly, a lot of us are feeling some serious anxiety about what it means for our jobs. But what if I told you some careers are actually going to become way more valuable because of AI? If you're looking to completely future-proof your livelihood, you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive into this. That fear of AI, it's completely valid. Whether you're a student trying to pick a major, a professional thinking about a career pivot, or a parent guiding your kids, you're definitely asking yourself this exact question right now. And the data totally backs you up. Oxford researchers did a massive study and found that 47% of US jobs are at high risk of automation. Plus, more recent data suggest up to 30% of our current work tasks could be automated by 2030. So yeah, if your job relies heavily on routine tasks, predictable data entry, or clear rule-based logic, it is absolutely in the crosshairs. But hold on, because that is literally only half the story. Take a look at this massive number, because this completely flips the narrative. 97 million. The World Economic Forum projects that 97 million brand new roles will be created globally by 2025 as a direct result of this AI transition. The secret to securing your place in that future isn't about trying to outcompute the machines on their own turf. It's about looking at exactly what AI cannot do. We need to pivot our optimism and focus on our inherent, uniquely human advantages. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a concept called Moravec's paradox. This is essentially your secret cheat code to finding a truly AI-proof career. Decades ago, robotics researchers realized something wild. The stuff that is totally effortless for us humans, like walking into an unfamiliar or messy kitchen and picking up a dropped spoon, is actually devastatingly difficult and incredibly expensive to program a robot to do. On the flip side, things that are really hard for humans, like doing complex calculus or analyzing a million spreadsheets in a second, are trivially easy for a machine. To win, we have to build our careers strictly on the human side of this paradox. To do that, we look at what we call the 4 pillars of AI resistance. Think of these as the ultimate moat around your career. First up is high human density, jobs that rely super heavily on empathy, conflict resolution, and trust. Second is physical presence in chaotic or unpredictable environments. Third, open-ended problem solving, where you literally have to improvise without a script. And finally, moral and legal responsibility, because society will always demand a human being answers for high-stakes ethical choices. Keep these 4 pillars in mind because they form the foundation for our entire top 10 countdown. All right, kicking off our countdown at numbers 10 and 9, we have community builders and artisans. Coming in at number 10, community builders, so we're talking HR business partners, grassroots organizers, mediators. These roles rely entirely on trust networks. Communities run on human trust, lived experiences, and shared identity. You just can't algorithm your way into genuine belonging. And then at number 9, artisans and restorers. These professionals hold a massive 96 out of 100 AI resilience score. Why? Because working with rare instruments, heritage buildings, or fine art takes immense tactile judgment. Plus, the real value of the art comes directly from the human story and the connection of the person who poured their soul into restoring it. Moving down to number 8, we have our crisis responders, firefighters, paramedics, disaster relief workers. They boast a 97 out of 100 resilience score. Think about it. In a real emergency, absolutely nothing works the way it does in a neat little computer simulation. Disasters never follow a script. They require intense physical rescue and triage under insane pressure, all while improvising in totally unstructured chaos. Sure, AI is great for mapping out the absolute fastest ambulance route, but only a human can run into a burning building and actually comfort a victim. At number 7, we're looking at leadership roles. Notice the really fascinating split on this chart. The human edge handles 80% of the job, setting the grand vision, building the company culture, resolving really complex interpersonal conflicts, and making those tough ethical choices. Meanwhile, AI acts as the 20% co-pilot. It steps in kind of like a super fast chief of staff to crunch the data analytics, track OKRs, and summarize meetings. Leaders and founders face situations driven by deep values, office politics, and tricky cultural trade-offs. You simply cannot automate vision and trust. Now, check out this staggering number, 98.5%. That actually represents the massive talent gap for our number 6 career, which is the AI ethics officer. The International Association of Privacy Professionals reports that 98.5% of organizations desperately need more AI governance professionals. This role is exploding right now, paying anywhere from $120,000 to $180,000 a year. And the reason is clear: bias incidents can cost companies millions in legal fees, not to mention wrecking their reputation. We urgently need humans to design and enforce the ethical guardrails around these incredibly powerful AI systems. And this brilliantly illustrates our number 5 spot: creative strategists and brand storytellers. You might think creative jobs are completely doomed because of all those AI art generators, but for high-level strategy, it's actually the exact opposite. AI can remix existing patterns, sure, but it cannot set cultural direction. It cannot take genuine creative risks. Great brand storytelling requires serious cultural fluency and an intuitive understanding of what feels authentic versus what feels totally hollow. AI acts as your ultra-fast co-writer throwing out drafts, but the human is the one who decides what is truly brilliant and what actually deserves to exist. Number 4 brings us to the skilled trades: electricians, plumbers, mechanics. Remember Moravec's paradox we talked about earlier? This is exactly why these jobs are fundamentally safe. The reality is the infinite variability of the physical world. An electrician navigates a totally different house every single day, dealing with weird, unexpected layouts and super tight spaces. It is economically ridiculous to build a multi-million-dollar robot just to fix unique plumbing in a 100-year-old house. And demand is skyrocketing. We're looking at a projected shortage of over 500,000 workers by 2030. In the trades, AI is just going to be a really smart tool in your tool belt, offering augmented reality diagnostics or helping with inventory. Coming in at number 3, early childhood educators and specialized teachers. Teaching holds a really powerful 92 out of 100 AI resilience score. Look, if you have ever watched a young child learn, you know for a fact it is not just about dumping information into their brains. It is all about empathy, warmth, and attachment. It's about a teacher noticing a tiny, quiet shift in a student's mood or instantly adapting to a classroom dynamic that literally changes minute by minute. True learning for young kids requires a grounding emotional presence that a screen simply cannot provide. Up next at number 2, we have healthcare practitioners. The core tasks here are entirely 100% human-led. We're talking physical care, split-second crisis response, and deep ethical choices, which earns this field a 96 out of 100 resilience score. Hospitals are the ultimate high-uncertainty environments. Now, AI is absolutely going to support these roles by tracking vitals, suggesting triage priorities based on huge data sets, and doing all that background administration. But the golden rule here is this: the AI stays in the screen while the human stays right there at the bedside. And finally, we've reached it, our number 1 most AI-proof career: psychotherapists, counselors, and social workers. This field boasts a staggering 98 out of 100 resilience score. Mental health and true emotional progress depend entirely on reading subtle, nonverbal cues, understanding meaningful silences, and offering genuine, lived empathy. Healing requires deep trust and a very real human connection that unfolds slowly over time. An algorithm cannot hold ethical and legal responsibility for a patient's well-being, and it absolutely cannot simulate genuine, lived human empathy. So the crucial point is this: your biggest risk right now isn't actually AI itself. No, the biggest career mistake you can make is moving sideways. By that, I mean staying entirely focused on predictable, routine execution tasks. Those are the exact things AI is literally built to automate. Instead, you need to be moving up the value chain. You have to focus your career on high-level strategy, complex judgment calls, and personal accountability. You always want to be the person directing the incredibly smart tools, not the person acting like one. Because the economic potential we're talking about is just staggering. Generative AI could add trillions of dollars in value to the global economy. So listen, the goal is absolutely not to hide from this technology or pretend it's not happening. The goal is to become a human co-pilot. You want to use these incredibly powerful tools to massively multiply your own output. The professionals who thrive won't be the ones competing with AI. They're going to be the ones who use AI to become 10 times more productive in their deeply human-centric roles. Let's move to and see how this builds into real, actionable advice for you. How do you actually future-proof yourself starting today? First, aggressively develop your emotional intelligence. In an AI world, empathy is your ultimate currency. Second, if you're in a hands-on field, really strengthen that complex physical dexterity. Third, lean heavily into ethical judgment, moral reasoning, and building genuine relationships. And finally, learn to use AI as an amplifier for your hard work, not a substitute for your critical thinking. I really want you to absorb this quote. AI can generate content. It cannot generate meaning. Think about that for a second. Meaning requires a human being, someone who has lived, who has hoped, who has struggled, and who can translate all of that messy lived experience into something others recognize as true. The human experience is ultimately irreplaceable, and my friends, that is exactly where your career value lies. So I'll leave you with this final provocative question. How will you pair your uniquely human strengths with the sheer power of AI? The window of opportunity is wide open for you right now. Don't run from the technology. Master it while doubling down on everything that makes you human. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Start applying these insights to your own trajectory today, and I'll see you next time.